Hello, welcome to John's Author Diary for the weekend in March the 15th, 2020. This week's been a bit of a mixed bag. I finished my second draft of Blind Reset. That took so much more effort than it needed. But it's done. I'm glad it's done. It now just requires line edits. The story's there. I think I probably ended up adding about 20,000 words to the entire manuscript, so it feels good to have that done. I've also gone back to working on The Devil, which is book 15 of the Ravenglass Chronicles. Now, I've not written any new scenes for that, but what I've done is the scenes that I've written, I've gone over, I've second drafted them, I've cleaned them up, I've revisited the outline, made sure that that's all okay, getting the story fixed in my head, and then next week I will write as much for the first draft as I can. It might be a little bit awkward because my son's off school on Friday, they've got a teacher training day thing, so that means I'll have just 3 days where I'll be by myself and I can work on it. So Monday this week wasn't a writing day. I ended up doing a couple of things. I think I did one scene from Blind Reset that day and then had to go for an appointment to try out the Oxsight Prism glasses. These were really good. These were quite spectacular, to be honest. They essentially projected an image onto the glasses of what is going on around you. Now you could adjust this so you could see more, you could zoom in. So when I was talking to the rep before I tried the glasses on, my peripheral vision is basically I could see about half her face and that was it. With this, I could see her face. I could see the wall behind her. I could see the things on the wall. I could see the sofa. I could see the table between us. It was crazy. For years I've taken for granted not having peripheral vision. And so having that just kind of made me realise how much I don't have. And the fact that that can be replaced with these glasses is really cool. So as well as the zoom in and all that kind of stuff, they have options where you can change colours. So there's an option on it which is good for if you have problems with colour blindness, then what you can do is adjust the colours. So it brings them out as primary colours. You can adjust it so it's like monochrome, so it's grayscale. There's a version where it highlights the edges of things. So it's basically using augmented reality technology to make the world just a bit of an easier place to navigate. There was one option on there which is specifically to find signs. And what it does is it basically pixelates the world and then anything that could be a sign is highlighted and you can read it and you can see it, you can zoom in and all that stuff. So really cool bit of kit. I mentioned last week that I knew this thing would be expensive. It's actually considerably more expensive than I would have guessed. So I thought, okay, smartphone now you can get that for less than 200 quid. Okay, this is quite specialist. So I thought, yeah, it'd probably be about £1,000, £1,000. No, these are £4,000. So I need to look at fundraising options. I need to look at ways I can make this work. So if you've got any suggestions, please email me. It's john@johncronshaw.com. I've heard of things like GoFundMe and stuff like that, so I might look into that. I don't know how comfortable I feel sitting there with my begging bowl asking people to send me money. So maybe I'll take out a loan. I don't know. There's different options. I think I might be able to rent it off the company as well. So I just need to figure this out, figure out how it's going to work. Because I definitely think they'll make for a net positive even with the price barrier considered. So, I've been doing well with my books lately and it's not out of the realm of possibility to afford these. I just need to save up. I just need to, I don't know, there are other options that I can consider. So I just need to think about it, see what works best and move forward with getting these glasses. So after I finished my appointment there, I went and had some lunch and I had a nice falafel salad and then went to a local hospital to have my shoulder looked at again. So it is improving. She's still concerned that I might have a torn labrum, so she's going to give me a ring in 6 weeks, see if it feels any better. If not, then I'll have to do things like have MRI scans and injections and things like that, so that should be fun. And I've also been sent an appointment at the eye hospital. Now, I kind of dread going to these because I've got a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, and at the moment there's early hopeful signs of good gene therapy research and stem cell research and things like that, but it's still nowhere near being a cure or anything like that. And so when I go to the eye hospital, what they tend to do is they put these drops on your eyes that dilate them, and now this can last for the rest of the day. And what this means is I'm basically in a world that's completely blurred. You can't focus on anything. It's really difficult to do anything. So I actually hate going to these appointments, but at the same time I know they're necessary. So we'll see how it goes. That isn't till next month, but it's not something I'm really looking forward to. On Tuesday I did a online course. So this was a course about advertising on Facebook and things like that. I did find it really helpful. And because I've started to get a bit of cash flow now because my book's doing well, it means I can invest in testing out these ads and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. You know, it is surprising how much of a different audiences, different images, things like that gather on Facebook. So when you change just one variable and test, I've had differences in the price per click. You basically get charged whenever someone clicks an advert. And so for some ads, this has been as low as 14 pence. For one particular ad, it was as high as 46 pence. So when you're selling a 99-cent book, your margins are very slim. So 14p is doable because I do make more money off the page reads on Kindle Unlimited. So I basically get paid, I think it's just under half a cent per page read. And so when you've got an 800 and something page box set, that's actually not so bad. So in terms of reading, I am currently reading Terry Pratchett's Snuff. I'm about a quarter of the way through. So far, so good. I always like reading Terry Pratchett's stuff. I've not read fantasy for ages. Terry Pratchett never lets me down, so it's enjoyable so far. And it's focused on one of my favourite characters in anything ever, which is Sam Vimes, so brilliant. I read a book called 1177 BC by Eric Klein. So this was about the Bronze Age collapse that happened around the Middle East and Mediterranean. I like to have this broad view of the way societies function and interact, and this ticked a lot of those boxes, so I'd recommend that. I'm also reading a book called The Art of Possibility, which is a book about creativity and focus and becoming a better, more productive person. It's done from the perspective of someone who's in an orchestra and another person who's a music teacher. A lot of the stuff doesn't really apply to what I'm doing, but I'm still enjoying it, so no complaints here. I've had no questions this week, but if you've got any questions, please email me. It's john@johncronshaw.com. I've been sending quite a few stories out lately on my newsletter, so if you want to sign up to that, please go to johncronshaw.com and click on the newsletter link and you can sign up there. You'll get the Fool, which is the prequel novella to my Ravenglass Chronicles, and then you'll get a bunch of stories set in the universe. So until next time, cheerio.